Dear Class 8, in previous video, you were introduced to chapter number 44, Direct and Indirect Speech. Some rules were explained in that video, number 71. So let's continue with this chapter in this video. Children, when we change a direct speech into indirect speech, a reporting verb is not changed with respect to tense. So what does it mean? That reporting verb is the principal clause. What is the principal clause? So you can see in your book this part of a sentence when it is said, he said or he said to me. Okay, and when this part which has a comma with it, this part of a sentence is called the reporting portion and is also known as principal clause, as you know very well. So this does not change with respect to tense. It remains the same. When you change it into indirect speech, it does not change with respect to tense. The tense of this verb remains the same. Next, children, like double inverted commas are not used when we are writing indirect speech. When we change a direct speech into indirect speech, we do not change the reporting verb. Okay. Second thing is, we do not use double inverted commas in a sentence. It is replaced by the word that. Okay, that is what we have learned in a previous video. Then comma is removed. For example, he said. This comma is removed when we write indirect speech. Clear? Next, question mark and exclamatory are not used. So these kind of marks are not used in a sentence. What does it mean? That all imperative, interrogative, exclamatory sentences are changed into statement, and all the statements end up with a full stop. Right? So the sentences which are in statement form are called assertive sentence. So you have to keep in your mind, and there are some rules according to the tense with how a direct speech is changed into indirect speech, which is explained over here further. Children, these rules are also shown in your book. Just come to page number 278, as it is in my book. It is 278. You check in your book, right? Rules for the change of tenses. Now, rule number 1 is if reporting verb is in present or future tense. This is the reporting verb. Okay. Now, this is what tense? This is present tense, right? And what is this tense? The reporting portion could be if the reporting portion is in present tense or future tense. He says or he will say. Then there's a comma, double inverted commas begin. The first letter should be capital. Okay. So you can see I am too busy today. Full stop. Okay. With double inverted commas closed. Right. Then when you write this, what do you have to learn? That when we change the reporting verb, if the reporting verb is in present or future tense, the verb of this direct speech will not change. What will we write over here? The answer for this first sentence could be, he says that, who is this I? This person. This is the subject. He says that he is too busy that day. Today changes into that day or the same day. Right? Without any punctuation mark or without any inverted commas. Full stop should be written. Right? Similarly, he will say. This is in future tense. How will you write? He will say that he is too busy that day or the same day. So, what have you learnt over here? That if the reporting verb is in present tense or future tense, the verb in the reported speech do not change. It remains in the same tense as these. Like it remains in the present form only. Next point to remember is if the reporting verb is in past tense. Okay. Now reporting verb in present tense could be this says, say. Okay. Or is saying, was saying. That is just when the verbs change into past tense. Okay. Now check this. If the reporting verb is in past tense, this is reporting verb. This is in past tense, right? The comma, double inverted commas begin. I am too busy today. We have used the same sentence over here, children. He said that. Now, as this is in past tense, so this verb is going to be changed into past form. So according to the rule, if the reporting verb is in past tense, the verb used in the direct speech changes into past form, right? So if it is says or say, it changes into said. Is saying changes into was saying. Has said or have said changes into had said. Similarly, have been saying changes into had been saying. Said changes into had said. That means if this is past tense, okay, and past tense changes into past perfect. Was saying changes into had been saying. So what does it mean over here? Just come back to the same place. If the verb over here is past and here is again the past form. If I was too busy, if you write I was too busy today, so over here this past form changes into past perfect. Okay, so just have to keep in mind all these points. Next, just revise it quickly. When the past perfect and past perfect continuous remains unchanged, just have to remember, sorry, this was saying, you have noted down or not? It's been, we write had been saying, right? Then past perfect, point to remember is past perfect and past perfect continuous remains unchanged. And these models change into will, change to would, shall, should, can, could, may, might, says to, change into tells, said to, change into told. And all remember, the word tells always need a personal object. That means you cannot write tells alone. It needs a personal object. For example, you tell something to someone. You always tell something to someone. So some object should be used along with tells. Okay. So this is what we'll do over here in this video. We'll continue in the next. Thank you.